Greetings, you beautiful people out there on YouTube. This video is going to be a Cattleya orchid video. Cattleya species doing interesting things for the time being. Let's start with the national flower of Colombia. Cattleya trianae. Hiding behind that, this one was so close to hit the trash can as well. Seems like all of my orchids have been there at one point in their life. No, this is a species Cattleya orchid. I don't know anything about which variety it is, so trianae, simply. Well, I got this orchid from Orchids and More nursery in Germany a little bit more than 1.5 years ago. At the time, it had 1 year to flowering size, but what puzzled me a lot was the size of it, and that I've always been of the opinion that the trianae is a quite medium to large size Cattleya orchid. So I was kind of surprised to notice that she's been blooming at this tiny size. And I was even more puzzled when the orchid nursery suggested it to have yet 1 year to flowering size, when she obviously arrived with an overbloomed spike. That was kind of strange. They must have only been looking at the sheer size of the plant and draw their own conclusions. A little bit too fast, by my opinion. But she's so tiny, I want to make a comparison so you can see just how tiny this species Cattleya orchid really is. If I put a regular little phalaenopsis next to it, you can see that it's not a huge plant by any means. I started out by putting her into semi-hydroponics, but she started to rot quite early after only 2 months' time in the semi-hydroponics. So I swiftly shifted into a clay pot with my regular moss and bark and perlite mix. But she didn't do well in that kind of mix either, since she lost all of her roots, of course. It usually happens when you repot a Cattleya species at the wrong time period. So she's been doing badly ever since I got her. Thrip and scale magnet, running off a couple of new growth. You see, there's one I had to cut off, and I needed to repot her in May last year. Now there's a little new growth coming, and she's now in growing stage. But this is the best growth she ever produced in my care. So, with a sheath. But that's not uncommon. As you can see, she created this one, and probably that one in my care as well. But nothing in there this far. But this tiny little old growth obviously liked to bloom. At the optimal conditions. So she's a very stubborn little gal. And somebody cut off the tips. That wasn't me. So she's been struggling even at the nursery, probably. And here I actually do have a little bit too tall, obviously. These shelves, yes. Yeah, already dried, so might as well just remove this piece. Anyways, it's also a trianae. This one is a variation, but still species. Cone color, Orion. This one grows in semi-hydro. And now she's actually taking off. This one was at the very same growing stage, at the very same age almost, as the other one you just saw. I got it with the same order. Almost 3 years ago. This one also had 1 year to flowering size. Loads of weeds spreading amongst my collection. But my Cattleyas are doing better than ever, so I shan't complain. Look. Yeah, now the lights went out. I think I need to put them back on. But it's in my hydro. Still growing very well, so it's not a bad setup for Cattleyas, really. Here's another Cattleya species, also found in Colombia, in the northeastern part of Colombia. Cattleya Schroederae. Yeah. I got it almost 2.5 years ago. And at the time it had 3 years to flowering size. And you know what, guys? I already had a mature Schroederae. And I can tell you that much, that plant was just about this size. So, it's not utterly correct. And if it wasn't for the thrips, this might have grown a little bit better. You can see there's been a lot of sucking insects to its leaves. It's a wonder she's still alive. Yeah. But I've got her still. I'm waiting for... Yeah, I'm waiting for this. It's just about to tell you, but it doesn't look like a good new growth, but it's still a new growth. And along with the new growth, there will be roots. So maybe she's got a future after all, but it's taken her very long. So you guys, this is the main reason why I was showing you the trianae and the Schroederae, as this one is a trianae semi-alba and Schroederae semi-alba cross, which means it's a primary hybrid cross between two species. Yes. Two Colombian species. Cattleya capi. I had this orchid for 2.5 years. I got it from a local nursery here in Gothenburg, as the seller was participating at our monthly Orchid Society meeting. Yeah. But first thing that struck me was, yeah, the strikes, no, the splashes to the petals and sepals. Where on earth did they come from? Look. It's a quite stunning flower, isn't it? As the petals are sloping. It's not very wide. But if it was fully opened, the flowers would have been 14 centimeters wide. Now they're only 9. Yes. But it's a very, very good-sized plant, and it's still got another sheath, which it probably can bloom from next year. This one won't produce a sheath, unfortunately not. So I bet this orchid shall be a very wide plant in due time. Yes. So only one flower on each cane, but some say that the trianae creates 20 centimeter wide flowers. Others say that the trianae creates flowers at a maximum size of 10 centimeters. Some say that the Schroederae creates flowers at a size on about 7 to 10 centimeters. And some say that the Schroederae creates very large flowers. So do not believe everything you read. See for yourself. This is something in between. As the petals are sloping, I believe this one inherited a lot of its characteristic traits from the trianae and the splashes from the trianae. but I believe its frilliness to its petals is inherited from the Schroederae. If you haven't seen it before, I can show it to you guys again. Growing in simply ready-mix bark in a plastic pot. Being watered once every 10 days, yeah, for the time being. And I am so happy for the outcome. I didn't really know what to expect from this orchid. I was about to sell her, but I definitely changed my mindset. This lovely Venezuelan and Colombian species, which normally blooms for Christmas and is brought in for decoration on the tables. This one I got, you can see, from a looker in May this year. It will be 3 years under my care, and it shall also be flowering size in May, which I strongly doubt. It won't be. It needs yet another year. But she's still growing in a semi-hydro, so that's not the con. It had quite a lot of scale, and it's not the strongest of plants, but she's really grown. Yeah. So maybe one Christmas. This was confusing me a little bit, this tag. Percivalliana variation. Tipo. So, first thing that crossed my mind was that tipo must be a color. A special color variation. As it says, variation. Variation. Yeah? It can still be a species, but it can be a variation to the species itself. And it can still be a species, if you see my point. So tipo, must be some kind of dark red color or whatever. So I didn't really look any further into it. But tipo means type. Yeah, type in Latin. Yeah, it's a Percivalliana type. Nah, can't be correct. Oh yeah, please do correct me, I forgot. But I was trying to look it up. I was trying to Google it, but that was the most accurate explanation I found. So, tipo means type. Yeah. So now over to the next Cattleya species. Yay! Very popular, formerly known as the Lelia, but now reclassified, quite some time ago, to be honest, into Cattleya, the Purpuratas. Yeah? So, this one, it's still alive, but it's become quite a disappointment to me. It's a very famous one. Cattleya Purpurata Moon, named after Henry George Moon, the famous painter who painted this Cattleya. Especially this one. It creates beautiful, beautiful flowers, this orchid. But I mistreated her. I put her into semi-hydroponics, which she, as always, could take for a while, but then she would decline. Couldn't really take it. Some of them just can't. That's the truth with growing in semi-hydroponics. Lasts for a while, quite alright, then decline. Or grows very well, forever and ever, with no sign of any decline at all. So it differs a lot. So it's very difficult to know and to be certain which ones to put into semi-hydro. So with the Cattleya species, it's sometimes a game of chance to put them into semi-hydro. So you need to try. And this is sometimes what happens and what you end up with if you try. This one has been a very high, beautiful, strong Cattleya, which bloomed every May to June, every spring. This regular, beautiful growing pattern, such as this one. This one should look like that by now, but it's not. This orchid shrank. Tongue-bending word. And I have another one, another Purpurata, from Orchids and More. Sanguinea, or however that's pronounced, Rhineblood. It's a very dark flowers, vinous-colored flowers, very, very smashing. Was declining for a while, but now she's back on track again. A quite decent new growth there. So, funny thing is that Rhineblood should also have reached flowering size by now. So, yeah, I do have yet another Purpurata, which I decided to give a little bit better light and a little bit more drop in temperatures, which will occur in that window. Now at night time it's only 18, and it will drop even more and go up to around 22, 23 degrees during daytime. It's very high and quite slender canes. This one might want to know what it is, which variety it is. So, if I get the tag out. This one should be, at least I thought it would be, a little bit shorter Cattleya Purpurata. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, so yeah, forgive me, yeah. She must reach flowering size very soon. She's so tall. But her leaves set is quite dark green, so I bet she needs even better lights, but I don't really know if I can provide her that. She's already getting the strongest LED tube lights available out there, so 5,000 lumen, 20,000 lux. But we'll see, they can surprise you. That one, the Purpurata estriata, will certainly bloom from that cane. She did bloom not long after I received her, but she bloomed in September. So that was strange, as the normal flowering season is around May to June. But now it seems like she's getting back to her, or the species' normal flowering regime. As you can see, this large sheath won't stay empty for very much longer. Now she's growing, and she needs additional lights throughout the winter month. This one is a Purpurata cross. It's LC elegans, which I've been showing you guys several times. She can stand sitting in semi-hydro. Last time she bloomed from 2 canes. So it's a Purpurata cross. Those were my Purpuratas. How to solve the mystery about the Cattleya maxima. Yeah, once upon a time, they named this orchid Maxima. As the scientists really thought that it's seen the largest Cattleya flower of them all, and that it would remain that way forever and ever. I don't have to say that. They were wrong. And I don't know if this one is a highland type or the lowland type. If this one is the more, I'm not sure really anymore, compact growing type with darker flowers, or the larger growing type with somewhat lighter flowers. An orchid expert who just recently held a Cattleya speech at our Orchid Society meeting, Mikael Gustafsson, said that in order to get his maxima into bloom, it needs to stay outside throughout the whole summer period. So it surely needs a quite significant drop in temperatures, I might add. Not simply the 5 or 6 degrees Celsius drop my window there offers. No, I believe more than that. Which will happen naturally outside. So she's going to stay outdoors in very good light this summer. I got it from a friend. She gave it to me. It's this size. Still, she's sitting in her plastic smoothie cup. I haven't yet, until now, discovered a reason why I should repot her. Maybe today. New growth inside the pot. But it doesn't seem to be bent or distorted by any means. I just need to lift the whole orchid up a little bit, but now it's getting a little bit too crowded. But obviously, she likes to be sitting quite crowded. And she's been creating sheath after sheath since I got her. But never ever anything in them. Never. This sheath is the largest sheath on a very good cane. The latest one. So maybe, as a mother plant, which belongs to my friend, she still has it, blooms on several canes, hanging in a southern exposure in a window, yeah? Nothing fancy about how she treats it, but still it blooms on several canes at a time. And it's just about this size, and it was a flowering size orchid when I got the little division from her as well. So this one has always been flowering size. But now she's becoming a monster. And she's really sitting under the very best lights which I can ever provide her. But still, it doesn't really help. So what to do? Well, I just happen to have the Cattleya warscewiczii, a quite rare species from northwest Colombia in the mountain areas. Grows on very high elevations, so she demands a great deal of light, which I'm trying to give her. I really am trying to provide her the best lights I can, but I had her for 2.5 years, and I bought her as a flowering site from Schroederae. Did I get it right this time? Yeah. Boy. But, yeah. Show you the tag for evidence. I'm not pulling your legs. But she's a very healthy plant. Well grown in her clay pot. In growth stage. New growth is being created. Probably another one there soon. I don't know if she creates sheath or not, but by now she should have shown any sign. In a blind sheath, that's at least a couple of blind sheath, at least one. There's been something there. So to this old cane, this must have been a sheath of some sorts. Surely it doesn't look like this. So she's lacking out on something, and that something must be light. I didn't know she was that light craving. And I would have thought about it a little bit more carefully to give her what she needed. As she's uncommon in a sense. And she creates, I've heard that she creates 24 centimeters wide flowers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard that somewhere. Or read, I don't know. That one was very sought after and very, very expensive and popular orchid 10 years back. Very difficult to get hold of this one. So I was so happy when I got her at a decent price as well. But the leaves, I can tell, they are a little bit too dark green to compare it. So more lights, yeah, from now on. Well, this is my disaster of a Guarianthe, not Cattleya nowadays, aurantiaca. And this variety is the maxima spot. I got it in September 2020. It bloomed in June 21 for 6 whole weeks with 2 fragrant, lovely, spotted flowers for 6 weeks. That's a really, really long time for being a Cattleya orchid. But it hasn't bloomed ever since. So, what is going on with me and the aurantiaca and its hybrids? Closely related hybrids. No sign of anything, really. Should have bloomed from this, shouldn't it? I mean, it almost doubled its size from the one it bloomed from. I mean, what is going on with you? Yeah, my Doriana is growing better. But I've decided to keep her anyways. Maybe she's gonna do the very same as my young min orange. Wait 6.5 years and then bloom reliably twice a year. So I still have hope and faith. But she's considered a very, very easy bloomer, so it's getting me a little bit annoyed. Yeah. But maybe if we get another one, exactly the same species, that one will bloom better and more frequently than this one. Sometimes it only depends on the plant you have. Nothing else. Yes, I do believe that I've got the variety. Cattleya intermedia, variation Aquinii, Cerulea or Lada. As close as you can get. Anyways, I hadn't had this orchid for very long. I got it in July 24 from Curling. Quite expensive orchid. €25 for this little tiny thingy. Hasn't grown much, I won't say. Created 2 new growth, that's it. But it will reach flowering size in a couple of months. Look what she's doing already. It's a sheath on this underdeveloped little growth. Look. I'm not saying that it will come anything out from that one, but who would have thought on this probably quite rootless orchid? It was never in a good state. Yes. Now that's kind of funny. A funny discovery. Something to show you guys, I hope. Come spring. Well, the last orchid up on the table, almost, I can't count today either, is the, you guessed it, Cattleya ludemaniana rubra. Had it for 2.5 years, I think, about, from Orchids and more. It's not blooming. And these guys requires a lot of sunlight, I've heard. And she got it. But still no blooms. I wonder what she's up to and what she's lacking out on. This one should be the highland or mountain form, which is also referred to as the Lara form. And there's also another form, another type, which is growing nearby the coastline. Quite a lot lighter flowers. Yes? This one has got dark, beautiful flowers. And I've had a ludemaniana semi-alba before. Her flowers were around 10 to 12 centimeters, so they aren't the largest of flowers. She was about this size. Looked like this. I bet she was the mountain or highland form as well. Grown in a very, very dry area. With lots of light. But I think she's a very, very nicely grown orchid. Isn't she? You just need to stake this little new growth up so it doesn't grow sideways. That will mean that she'll take up far too much space, which I do not really have. So, and last but not least, it's down here to the floor. I found a sheath on my Brazilian species today. Yeah, the Schroederae. Closely related to the labiata. As I said, in my growing area tour, she creates double sheath, just like the species labiata does. And it grows in the same country at least, so quite closely related. So I hope this year there won't be a blind sheath. Yes? Yeah, that would be all for now. I could go on for hours, as I got a lot of Cattleya species. Still, growing on nicely, almost all of them. But that will be another day, in another video. Yes? Hope you like this one, and that you want to give it a thumbs up, and subscribe. And stuff, leave a comment. And we should talk soon. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. It's extremely appreciated. Yeah? Take care. Bye-bye.